Hello, my name is Aaron and welcome to another video. Today we're talking about 5 tips for the Sony a5100. So, the Sony a5100 is a camera that I've been using for a few years now, and I've made many other videos about tips and tricks for this camera, which you can check out in this playlist here, and I'll also link in the description below. So the Sony a5100 is a versatile camera that's been out for a good few years now, and I still think it has got plenty of life left in it. So we're going to go through 5 more tips and tricks for this camera that I still use to this day. But before we get started, please consider subscribing to the channel and dropping a like on the video. Helps me out a lot knowing what type of videos you're enjoying. So my first tip is a quality of life improvement, and that is turning off the audio signals. Basically, this is the little beeps that the camera makes when you're taking a photo. Now, for me, most of the time I do leave these beeps on. It's quite useful to know that the camera has taken a shot, especially if you can't see the screen to check that the shutter has closed, and it's just that nice little indication that, yes, everything is working correctly. However, it isn't always that helpful to have a beep going off when you're operating the camera. For example, you're in a very quiet environment where you're trying to be as inconspicuous as possible, or if, say, you're taking some wildlife shots and a beep might scare off your subject matter. So, to turn the audio signals, the beeps basically, on and off, you need to go to the setup menu on the camera, and then tab 1, and there's an option here called audio signals, which you can toggle on and off. So my second tip is how to adjust the screen brightness. With the a5100, as it is such a compact camera, there is no electronic viewfinder, EVF, for you to be able to check your composition while taking your shots. You're solely reliant on the monitor screen. This helps keep the camera's size down to a minimum, which of course is very handy for this pocket-sized, extremely compact camera, but it does cause a lot of issues, especially when taking photos in bright situations. And you may find that you just cannot see the screen at all unless you're covering it with some kind of cloth or putting it under your t-shirt, something like this, just to be able to see what you are taking a photo of. So your best chance of taking photos in bright situations is increasing the screen brightness. To do this, on the main menu, you go to Setup and then tab 1 and then Screen Brightness. Here you can see that there are some manual settings here, so if there may be situations in dark situations where you want the screen to be as dim as possible, then you can turn this down. And also, for those sunny situations we discussed, you can turn it up. There is also a sunny weather setting, which you can see here, which will increase the brightness even further. It will drain the battery a little bit more, but it's handy to know that in those bright situations, it's your best chance of being able to see the screen, so you can see your composition while you're out shooting. So, my third tip may be an obvious one to some people, but I'd actually used the camera for quite a long time before realising this, and maybe it's because for a long time I was only using the kit lens, so I wasn't changing my lenses very much. But once I started using other lenses, I realised it can be a little bit fiddly getting the lenses on and off the camera. Now, something that I discovered is that there is a white dot on the side of the lens barrel, which I'll show you here. So as you can see, this white dot here, I never really thought what it means. Well, it turns out if you take your lens off the camera, there is also a corresponding white dot here. So all you have to do is line those 2 dots up and your lens will click on very, very easily. So again, you may already know this, but for me it was very handy knowing that that is there so you can line up your lenses very quickly, especially if you are out and about taking different types of shots with different types of lenses and you want to be able to swap them over as quickly and easily as possible without fumbling around with them, especially as lenses can get very expensive and it's certainly not the type of things that you want to be dropping. So the lens dot, as I call them, is my third tip. So if you always look out for that dot on your lenses, especially Sony's first party lenses will always have them on, and then the dot on the camera, you'll always be able to get your lenses on as quickly as possible. So my fourth tip is increasing or decreasing the screen on time. When you get the camera new, straight out of the box, I think this screen on time is set to 30 seconds, which means the camera will power down after 30 seconds of no usage, which of course is very handy if you're out on a long shoot and only potentially have one battery. However, I find it more frustrating most of the time, as you may find that you are ready to take a shot, the lens has collapsed back into the camera and the screen is off, you've got to power things up again, it might take 2 or 3 seconds, and before you know it, you've missed your shot. So what I like to do is increase this screen on time for a little bit of sacrifice of battery, but I have that peace of mind that the camera is always ready to go. So, personally, I like to move this setting all the way up to 30 minutes, which is the maximum. It means that the camera is always ready to go, especially if I'm walking around doing a bit of street photography. Camera around my neck is always ready to go at a moment's notice. So I will be sacrificing battery power, but usually I'll be carrying a few spare batteries with me anyway, so if that's a sacrifice worth taking for you, then I would up it all the way to 30 minutes. So to change your screen on time, you go to Setup, and then Tab 2, and then Power Save Start Time. And here you can see the different options. Maybe a good middle ground would be changing it up to 2 minutes, and as I mentioned earlier, you can move that all the way up to 30 minutes. So, my fifth and final tip is auto object framing. Now you might wonder, what does that mean? And to be honest, I didn't know for a while, other than when I first got this camera, there was a very annoying, for me, setting already turned on. And what it does is essentially, the camera itself will take a best guess at the subject that you are trying to take a photo of, and take a second photo, cropping in on that photo, trying to get perhaps a better composition than you have got. So, it especially happens when you're taking a photo of someone's face. It'll try and crop in on that face and try and make a best guess at a better composition. However, what this does is that it fills your memory card up with basically two versions of each shot, the one you were intending to take and a cropped version. Now, perhaps when you're first starting out, this might be quite useful. However, I generally find this setting just fills up your memory card with shots that you weren't intending to take, and I personally would rather have it off. So, auto object framing will probably already be switched on when you buy this camera, and if you'd like to turn it off or on again to have a play around with it, you go to Camera Settings, Tab 7, and then Auto Object Framing on or off. Now, you may find that the Auto Object Framing menu setting is greyed out. This may be, if you've changed your quality settings to JPEG plus RAW, you cannot use this setting. If you're just using JPEG, you'll find that you can turn this setting on and off as you wish. But for me personally, as I use JPEG and RAW and have no real interest in using this setting, I personally have it switched off. So there we have it. There were my 5 quick tips for the Sony a5100. As I mentioned earlier, you can check out the playlist in the description for all my other tips and tricks that I have made for this camera, the Sony a5100. Are there any tips for the Sony a5100 that you use that I haven't mentioned in this or any of my other videos? Let me know in the comments below. But as always, if you've enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to the channel and dropping a like on the video. Also, you can check out my photography where I often use the Sony a5100 on Instagram at aaron.prescott. Also, if you're a Reddit user, I've set up a subreddit for the Sony a5100 where you can ask questions or post your pictures and videos about the a5100. I'll leave that in the description below. But that's it from me for now. Until next time, see ya.